Now we're going to hear from a labor and community response to the charter reform. Joining us this morning is Lorena Gonzalez and Jerry Butkiewicz, I believe, are both here, and they are next on the program. Mr. Butkiewicz.
Good morning. I want to thank Councilman Wayso for his appointment, Adrian Kakowski, who made it possible for community members to be invited to speak in front of the committee. And I also want to thank the committee for volunteering your time for this committee. Unfortunately, it's kind of difficult for me to address this committee because I personally think that the committee is somewhat illegitimate. If San Diego is going to change its charter, I think the recommendation should come from an elected charter reform committee that is representative of San Diego, not simply mayoral appointments. Really, this is not personally against any of you. Some of you are my friends. I'm sure you're all good people, and I'm sure that you're asked to do a job and are trying your best. But let's be honest, this group is in no way represents the neighborhoods of San Diego. According to the voter registration data, this committee is composed of individuals from Point Loma, Pacific Beach, Mission Hills, Hillcrest, San Carlos, Sierra Mesa, a few from La Jolla, and a few more from Scripps Ranch. And then there's 3 members who don't live in the city of San Diego. Meanwhile, there is not one single representative from the San Diego communities south of 8. Not one. A third of the city is Latino, and yet not one committee member is from the Latino community. Nearly 15% of our city is Asian, yet not one community member sits on this panel. Meanwhile, developers have more than their share of representation. With your respective law firms and lobbying firms representing dozens of local developers, including Sunroad. I am not saying there is anything wrong with lobbyists. In fact, I am a registered lobbyist for labor. And if I sat on this committee, it would be clear that I was representing labor and our 120,000 union families' interests. That is who I am paid to represent. But I have to ask, who exactly do you represent? Who are you paid to represent? Would you share with us your waivers of conflict? Not only do we need an elected charter commission to give it legitimacy, diversity, and representation makeup, but we need fresh eyes to look at the issues that we are all looking at. Everything on the city website makes it clear that this committee is looking for ways to strengthen the strong mayor. Last I checked, the strong mayor was a 5-year experiment. We're 2 years into that experiment. Yet according to your website, this committee is to identify legislative tightening that would be required for effective permanent implementation of the strong mayor form of government. Who says the neighborhoods of San Diego want to make permanent the strong mayor form of government? Let's be honest. It hasn't exactly been a success so far. In fact, I would say it's been close to a complete failure. You have the city attorney, the mayor, and the council constantly at odds with each other. They have cut the core of the city workforce, the people who work at our parks, fill our potholes, and pick up our trash, but have increased the managerial and administrative support functions. You have a developer that until yesterday refused to listen to the FAA or the city attorney, and a mayoral staff that spent public dollars lobbying for that developer. We can find money in the budget for more than six-figure salaries, more than we've ever had in the history of this city, but we can't find a place where the homeless can spend on a cold winter night. And we want to permanently implement this? I won't even go into the other proposals that have been brought before this committee to further diminish the power of our neighborhoods and put it in the hands of the developers and the downtown elite, like creating 3 at-large city council seats. because those are such a waste of taxpayer dollars that I can't believe a taxpayer association could recommend them with a straight face. Who are they representing? So if you want a community perspective, this is it. Recommend that any charter changes be reviewed by a representative elected charter review commission. And if you are still interested in participating, run for one of those seats. But don't mock the voter by presenting this as any sort of public process. Thank you for your time.
Well, of course, the issue of whether this should be an elected body or not is not before us. We've been asked to do a job by the mayor and the council, and I think we're going to proceed to do that. And I personally resent any implications that the speaker made that any of us have any hidden agenda. I don't believe that's true in the case of any of us. And one minor error in his facts, I do live south of 8, so south of 8 is represented at least by one of us. Is Ms. Gonzalez here?
I was just...
You not?
No.
He spoke for you?
Well, we wouldn't want to insult you anymore, John.
Oh, yes, you would.
But for clarification,
But
I'm
no-
sure the South of 8 comment was representative of Districts 8 and 4. I'm sorry for that minor geographical error. And if there's any questions, we'd be happy to take them.
Are there any questions? There appear to be none. Let's take a 10-minute break at this point.